Hi, I'm Tanner, a regional trainer here at Sound Off Signal. Today, I'm here to talk about the ConfigureIT app and hardware. Sound Off Signal's ConfigureIT system enables a quick and efficient programming of flash patterns, colors, intensities, and other functions such as steady burn and cruise using your Bluetooth-enabled device like a phone and our free and easy-to-use ConfigureIT app. Using ConfigureIT, you're able to duplicate programs across lights in seconds, eliminating the need for wiretapping and ensuring quick setup and consistency. ConfigureIT is compatible with the mpower, nFUSE, Intersector, and Undercover perimeter light families of products. To get started, your ConfigureIT will come with three parts: the power cable, the Bluetooth interface module, and the programming harness. It's important to know there are two separate part numbers. One is designed to integrate with standard Sound Off Signal perimeter lights. The other adds the capability to interface with Ford police interceptor utility vehicles. Connecting to the light is simple. Connect the wires color for color from the programming harness to the light. Red is power, black is ground, and green is data. The included 120 volt power adapter will deliver up to 2 amps of direct current to the module and any connected lights. If multiple lights are connected, ensure that an appropriate external power supply is used. You can reference the instructional diagram on how to do this. I'll now open my ConfigureIT app. ConfigureIT really unlocks the power of a standalone 5-wire light with up to 6 functions. The splash screen has a diagram for 2 options, connecting one light at a time or connecting multiple lights. With Bluetooth enabled on my device, I will now hit Scan for Devices. The app will then take me to a Devices Found screen. If you're in a shop where there could be multiple ConfigureIT systems powered on, you can confirm which one you're connecting to based on the last few digits of the MAC ID, which will be printed on the Bluetooth interface module and displayed in the app under Sound Off Programmer. Once I've confirmed I'll be connected to the right device, I'll hit Connect. This will then detect lights. If your light doesn't show up, I'll verify my connections, and once I've done that, but the light still isn't showing up, I can try a refresh or a deep scan, which we'll get into a bit later. On my screen, I can see I'm connected to an mpower 4-inch fascia, and I'll see its serial number. If I click the drop-down arrow on the right side of the screen, I'll see even more options: Configure, Simulate, Find Light, and Update Firmware. In this case, I see a yellow exclamation point over the Update Firmware, which is letting me know there's an update available. It's always recommended to give the light a firmware update when one is available. On the left side of the screen, I'll see the firmware version, and underneath it will be some more information about the light. The colors present, the current pattern, what table it's in, what phase it's in, if color swap is activated, meaning the second color will flash first, and if wire lockout is activated, the white wire will be disabled for the wiretap programming method. You don't change any of these settings from here. This screen is just giving a quick overview of the light. When I click on Configure, it will bring me to the customization screen where I can choose what flash pattern I want for the light by selecting the pencil logo and then choosing my pattern from the drop-down. However, only one pattern can be used. This often causes confusion. White wire lockout is important to know, as most siren controllers rest at ground when not on. So if the white wire is being used as a function modifier, this can cause issues, so toggle that setting on. My next option is the phase. Traditionally, phase A will be the driver's side and phase B will be the passenger side. So I'll select the appropriate phase for this light depending on my build. Then I can select the color swap or the wire lockout function if I want to enable that. The wire table is where I'm going to customize the functions of this light. I'll assign a function to each trigger wire, such as flash, flash low power, cruise, steady, or off. I select this by using the pencil logo and then making the appropriate choices on the next screen. Once I've chosen the function I want, I'll hit Done and go back to the previous screen. Once I've made my choices, it's important to hit Send a Light. That will now send my selected programming to this light. The pre-configured light tables can be modified at the time of ordering using the configurator on the Sound Off Signal website, so your lights can come to you with a custom table that you've designed at the time of order. Also, at the bottom of the screen, I have the option to import or save a file. If this is the first light I'm doing on the build, I'll make all my choices, hit Save to File, and then I'll name that. Then, when I get to my next light I want in this configuration, I can just import that saved file and hit Send to Light. This is where my time saving will really come in. Instead of wiretapping however many lights I plan to put on this build, I can connect them to the ConfigureIT and send the appropriate configuration to the lights in seconds. Going back to the lights found screen, I can simulate what will happen with each trigger wire to confirm my choices are what I've programmed and what I'm expecting. As we briefly mentioned earlier, you can have multiple lights hooked up to the ConfigureIT. When I have these lights connected, and I want to identify which is which, I can hit Find Light. The app will tell me the selected light is a steady color, which will allow me to visually identify the light I'll be making changes to. The light will steady burn for about 10 seconds for me to identify the light. The last option is Update Firmware. If there's a yellow exclamation point, I'll want to go ahead and give it an update to make sure I'm using the most up-to-date version. This can take a few minutes, and the light will have to remain connected and powered on during the firmware update. I'll see a status bar at the bottom telling me my progress. Just a little tip, the light can get hot to the touch and will also be bright, so keep that in mind. Back to the beginning, I mentioned Deep Scan Recover. Let's just say I have a light that is physically connected and I've verified it's connected, but for some reason it's not responding as expected. Maybe my firmware update got interrupted. I can go start a recovery process and tell the app which product family I'm looking for, and the app will then locate that light. I only want to have the specific light I want to recover connected. I wouldn't want to have multiple lights hooked up for this process. I'll tap the three little dots to the right of Sound Off Programmer and hit Recover. I'll then click on Select Product Family. In this case, I'll hit mpower and then follow the prompts while the device searches for lights. In essence, I performed a factory reset on this light and now have the opportunity to configure them as I want. The second option on this three-dot menu is Update All Lights. So I can give a group firmware update to all the lights connected at this point. Now, you're ready to configure it.